Chicken and mushroom pie.
Like a piece of
So,
heaven.
he's basically saying it's priceless. Basically, you should be up for doing some washing up. Now, if you're the person that's cooking on Christmas Day, then you know how you feel on Boxing Day. You never want to cook ever again, and you don't ever want to see turkey, right? Well, this dish that I'm going to show you is an amazing pie dish that's inspired by leftovers. It's actually something I used to cook in the restaurant, and it takes the most humble ingredients and makes the absolute most out of them. So let's start off with the humble mushroom. For this chicken and mushroom pie, we're just using basic mushrooms. Now, I hear you scream, why aren't you using chanterelle or portobello or something a bit more fancy? Listen, these guys get overlooked all the time. I'm going to show you a really quick way to maximize the flavor. So let's slice them up. So now get your mushrooms into a dry pan. That's the absolute key at a medium heat. Now let's get the other ingredients done. So first off, let's get an onion and let's get that sliced through. Now I don't want fine dice, I want medium dice. Now we want some sweetness from this leek. So just slice that up and again, just dice that down. Now we've got some thyme, just pull that through. And then I've pulled off the rest of the chicken from the chicken carcass. Let's get this little lot cooked up. Okay, so those mushrooms have been in that pan on a low heat. They've charred a little bit. You're almost sort of toasting them. Mushrooms are like over 90% moisture, and what you're doing is you're dehydrating them and you're toasting them and you're intensifying the flavor. What you've got there is it just brings out all the mushroom flavor. They're so dark and robust now, packed full of flavor. That's gonna taste so good. So toasty. Okay, let's get those off and get the rest of the ingredients done for the pie filling. Now, in the same pan that you toasted the mushrooms, nice big knob of butter, let's drop that in. And then I'm just going to add about a teaspoon of olive oil to it as well. Swirl that around in the pan, and then let's get the rest of the ingredients in. So, get your onions, drop those in, and we're going to just cook those for a minute just to get them going a little bit first. Now we're going to get nice sweet leeks, going to drop those in. And what you're looking is to just get a little bit of colour on the onions and that everything's translucent. Once you've got that, now it's time to get your beautiful aromatic thyme. Get that all in there. I'm just going to cook that for a couple of minutes. Can you hear that crackle? That's the thyme just releasing all its flavour into the pan. Absolutely beautiful. You just need it in there for about a minute and a half, and then we're going to get the chicken in. So now you've got all that butter, onions, all those beautiful sweet flavors with the aromatic thyme. We're going to put the chicken in and it's going to suck in all those flavors. Mix it in. What you're essentially doing is bringing the chicken up to heat. Now I'm going to get my bechamel sauce in. Mix that in. Now don't add too much bechamel. You don't want it to be too wet. And now add the mushrooms. Okay, now we need to season. So let's get some salt in there. And with this autumn style pie, you want freshly cracked black pepper. Okay, now I'm just going to taste that. Oh, friggin' hell, that's delicious. Like, you've got the roasted chicken with the intensity of the mushrooms and then the creaminess of the bechamel sauce, the sweetness of the leeks and the onions. Thyme's coming through. That is sensational. What's going to help that now is a really strong cheddar, which we'll put in and on top. Oh, that looks sensational. Let's put that to the side and crack on with the pastry. For the pastry, I'm using all butter puff pastry. And what you need for this is you need some more greaseproof, rolling pin, you need your little baking tray with some greaseproof on, a nice fat ring, and then I've got some basically baking beans to go inside because we're going to blind bake them, and some flour so we can roll it out. What I'm going to do is I need 2 discs and 2 strips of pastry, and I need 2 discs and 2 strips of greaseproof. Let's do it. Okay, so I've rolled it out to about the thickness of a £1 coin. I need to get 2 strips and 2 discs. So I'm going to use the ring to show me how thick I need to cut them. Now cut round to create the discs. Okay, now let's do the same for the greaseproof. Okay, so that's my strips done, but I need to make circles now. That's a little bit harder. So the solution is a cartouche, where we form a square, then we put it over the ring and fold it over itself, and then we cut round and it turns into a circle. Magic. So they're done. Time to make the pies. So take your ring and put it on to some greaseproof on a baking tray. First off, you take your pastry and we curl that round and drop it in to your ring. And then what you do is you just turn over one side, put it all in, turn over the other. Then we'll take a little bit of water and we just wet that side until it forms nicely. Then you take your disc. Now what you can do is you can just get your rolling pin and just roll it a little bit one way and then the other, and that just extends it. So it means that the lip will sit and then come round. Take it, drop that in, and then again with the water, just go round and you're basically forming a seal so that the pastry case will encapsulate the pastry filling and everything will be happy. Take your first strip and just put that in, just coil it round like that, drop it in, and then just push it out so it goes all the way out. And then take your cartouche, drop that in and push it down so it fully fits. And then finally, take your baking beans and pour those in until they come to the top. And then you just want to make sure that you've pushed it in so that it all goes into the corners. Now, if you haven't got baking beans, then what you can do is you can put some cling film over the greaseproof, pour flour in there or rice, fold it back over, and that works to restrict the pastry from rising up so you blind bake it. Right, let's get these guys in the oven at about 170 for about 20 minutes until it's starting to go golden on the outside. Okay, let's see how our pastry cases are getting on. Okay, beautiful. They're absolutely perfect. Just beginning to go golden on the outside. Let's set these aside so they can cool down. Okay, so these guys have cooled down to the touch. I'm going to just get the beans out. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my knife and just go round, just trimming off the pastry so I can get the cases out. Right, it's time to finish this off. We've been joined by Joel, another food buskie, and now we're going to put the filling in and whoosh into the oven. Let's do it. Okay, now we're just going to grate some cheese on the top. Okay, so the pies are going in for about 10 to 12 minutes until the cheese is nice and golden and bubbling on the top. I'm going to clear down. Oh my God, just look at those. Gooey, cheesy, toasty, oh my God. How much do you think? How much? Okay, I'm not going to serve them with chips or anything like that, so I'm just going to say £6.50, £6. I'm going to say £6. £6 for a pie. Okay, let's take it to the streets of Shepherd's Bush Market. Guy, go for it. Get involved. Get involved. So here you go. Come in. Try the food.
Okay. Oh, it's very hard.
Okay.
Really
Packed with flavour.
pastry.
So, Joel, what's it saying to you?
So good.
Don't speak with your mouth full.
Really cheesy, really flavourful chicken, really light pastry and really crisp.
Delicious, packed full of flavour. Couldn't put a price on it. Must be beyond value. For me, I really love it. But if you want a price, I'll give you one later.
He's basically saying it's priceless. Basically.
Yep, basically.
Sorry, what did you say?
I'm very busy because everything is very yummy.
So, look.
Tasteful.
So,
Delicious. Tasty.
tasty?
Yeah.
You like it?
Yeah.
Tell him about it.
What are you doing later? Would you be up for doing some washing up?
No.
No.
Enjoying the taste.
Ah.
It's like a piece of
So,
heaven.
so you like it?
Yes.
It's good.
The spice.
So, how much would you pay for a whole pie?
£9.
£9, get in there. Guy,
That size, $7.50.
$7.50. How much for one pie?
For all or half?
All.
£5.
£5. Oh. How much?
£9.
£9. How much?
10.
But people 10, but for me, for
5-1 people. Like the proof is in the pudding, even though it's a pie. Anyway, that is perfect for Boxing Day. To use up the leftover turkey, just substitute the chicken for that turkey. And if you're loving what we're doing, subscribe to the channel and come down and get involved. We're shooting most weeks. You can come in and try the food and increase the peace. Chili.